Software development is pure business. We pay money. You have to do the work you can give to us. And we don't care about your hard work or nothing. We are not even concerned about your hard works. We are just concerned about whether the design given to you is finished or not by time. That's it. So generally, software development is a pure business oriented approach. That means you are get paid for what you are doing, and they will not give you more money if you do hard work, right? So don't waste the time, just design the required content with as much possible, as much less effort you can put into it, right? That means generally one design is given to you and you say that I will sit and create the design. It will take a lot of time. So what we do in real time development is we take help of several libraries where already designs are there. We just implement them and change them according to our requirements. Sometimes these designs, these components are even paid also. That means we pay money and purchase them. Some are free, some we have to pay and use them. So Angular material is providing a free library to you so that you can use that library and you can make the development more simple, easy and fast. That is the concept of material. Like Angular material, there are so many other people also. Like Angular material, we have other people also. So like Angular material, we are having other people also. Like you have Telerik. So we have like Dev Express. So we have these kind of like so many. You can use MUI. MUI is related to React, right? These are all third parties actually. MUI, right? These are all third party libraries. That means when you are developing an application, we can take help of these people and we can create good designs in a simple way. Just like suppose you want a wedding card. If you want a wedding card, you will go to a DTP center. And in that DTP center, so he will simply show you ready-made templates. And he will say that choose one template. You will select one template. In the template, he will put the data you want. That means he will not say that I will design a card for you. I will design everything for you. So, and I will give it to you. He will simply say that these are the designs. Choose any design. If you want, I can make some changes in the design. But he will never try to design everything from scratch. Time waste. So he don't need that. So that is the reason anywhere, even website development also, if you want a website, you went to somebody and say, I want a website for my business. He will ask, what is your business? You say, my business is some education business. Then he will show you some education templates and asks you, choose any template from here and give your data. And you give the data, he will put your data in that template and he will give it to you. He will not design everything. This is what the importance of material. It makes our Angular applications simple, faster in design. So in software companies, lot of requirements we can't achieve with the free service. That is the reason some companies will purchase them and use them. Suppose see here, this is one Telerik. This is Telerik. Telerik is, see, it says modern UI made easy. So modern UI made easy. Build rich modern experiences for web, mobile, and desktop apps faster than ever. Means what is the main aim? Building becomes fast. We don't waste time. And important here, see, they provide, see, these are the customers of Telrik. NASA is customer of Telrik. Microsoft is customer of Telrik. That means they are providing support for NASA like people. If you don't know about Telrik, that is your problem. NASA knows about Telrik, Microsoft knows about Telrik, they are using Telrik. So the point here is, you may ask, like, Microsoft itself is a software company. They have very talented, high professional developers. They have their own softwares and they are taking help of Telerik for software. That is the point here. They are taking software help from Telerik like people. You may ask, IBM is taking help. That means they have their developers. They can ask their developers to build them. But their developers are already busy with their projects. They don't want to waste time in this again. So somebody is doing already this, then why to waste time? Better get from there. For example, you are using a Samsung mobile. I hope you people know the camera that you use in Samsung mobile doesn't belong to Samsung. The camera belongs to somebody else. Samsung purchases that rights and puts that camera inside Samsung mobile. That means your mobile almost it is having means parts of your mobile from more than 30-40 companies. In one mobile, the parts will be from more than 30-40 companies, but the mobile case brand says Samsung. But they borrow chip from somebody, they borrow camera from somebody, they borrow lens from somebody, they borrow screen from somebody. Why they do like that? Because somebody is popular in making lens. Then we will get from him. Why I will put again new lens manufacturing company now? Right? The same thing in software development. That's the reason we learned in the beginning itself. Google is using a language called TypeScript. TypeScript is built by whom? Microsoft. Why can't Google build its own language? Time waste already there now. What is problem in using it? Again, time waste in designing, building, and a new language. That is the point here, actually. So you don't waste time, just borrow third parties and use them. And you see here, they will not only Angular, every technology. Suppose if anybody asked you, like, you are learning Java.NET. Suppose I ask you a question. You finished your Java.NET, you are learning. Can you write a program to read barcode? Can you write a program to generate barcode? Then how you will build an application for stock market, so any supermarket? How you will build an application for online store? They need barcodes now. And Java don't have a library for barcode, but Java can use a library of barcode provided by some third party. .NET don't have a library for barcode, but they can design barcodes, read barcodes by using help of a third party. That means your technologies are not capable of doing everything. Every technology in the world have gaps. And to fulfill the gaps, you need support of third parties like Telerik, like Angular materials. These are all third parties. So the point is, you see here, You go to demos, they give here demos. You see, this is Angular, jQuery, React, ASP.NET, JSP, and PHP, Silverlight. So many are there. Suppose I selected Angular demos. Where is it? Yeah, Angular demos. You see, it will show a lot of. You can see these are all components they provide. Barcodes, QR codes, buttons, file uploader, file saver. So many will be there. In many of interviews also, sometimes they ask you, not in Angular, suppose you are learning Java, .NET and all, they will ask you a question like, in Java or in .NET, you learn how to bring data from database and display on screen. After displaying on screen, I want that data to be saved in a PDF format. How? That means I want a button. That button should say export. When I click export, the data that is visible on screen should be converted into a PDF file. This is a very common question in interviews. They say that you are .NET Java person, write a program for converting the data into PDF, because every bank statement requires that. I hope you know. You are watching a bank website, you will see your transactions on screen. You can export that statement into a PDF form, into an Excel form. These type of questions are very common in interviews. That means in interviews, generally, they will not ask what you learned. That will not become an interview then. They will ask about what you learned, but in a different pattern. What topic you learned, they will ask. But in that topic, they will ask a different. They say that which database you use. You will say, I learned Oracle. Then they will say that, then write a program to communicate with MongoDB, not Oracle. So that means write a program to communicate with data in Excel file. Read the data from Excel file and show. Such questions are asked in interviews. For that, you need to get prepared. That means you should not be seized with only what you learned. You should explore. You learned with Oracle, but every company database may not be Oracle. In that case, they told you with Oracle. You learned with Oracle, but you should learn how to communicate with MongoDB, MySQL, SQL Server, and other database. Because depending on project, it changes. These all are important things to learn actually. And see here, these are all actually paid, not free. You see pricing, they are very costly also. You see $99, $999 per developer, for one developer. And see 24-hour response time. What this response time is nothing but, if you get any technical issues, they will resolve in 24 hours. That means their team will come and resolve. You are facing any problem, it's not working properly, then their team will support you. Every technology is like that. Suppose in companies you use Java, .NET and all, the companies officially purchase them. When company officially purchase them, any technical problem comes, their technical team will come and resolve. That means professional technical team will come and resolve. Actually, these are all paid service. But now you are going to learn Angular material. Material Angular. So this is Angular material. This is material.angular.io. That is the library. Angular material library. This Angular material library is going to provide, this is Angular material. And you can see this is providing components and it is providing CDK. CDK is component development kit. That means they are giving components and they are giving development kit for components, which will make your components more effective in performance. Components means ready-made templates are there. CDK means some library for making the templates better in performance. Better in performance. That is what CDK is. They provide both of them. And very important is one big headache you will face with this is version wise they are changing. Along with Angular, they are not changing. Angular is different, material is different. Sometimes Angular version, material version, if they mismatch, they don't work. You have to be very careful because it is not a built-in feature of Angular. It is a separate feature of Angular. It is built separately. It is developed separately. It has separate versions. In that case, in your company, they are using Angular 14 and you installed the Angular material, which is latest is 15, then it will not work. Compatibility issues will come. You have to install exactly the same version of Angular material, which is suitable for your Angular project. If you miss that point, it will not work. You should be very careful in working with this. Compatibility issues will come, right? Let's see how to use this now. And remember, it is not like you written notes about it and after 2 months you follow the same, because this will be regularly changing. Every few days new things will be coming. You need to keep in touch with this regularly. That means you need to subscribe to this. You need to visit this website. You need to know what changes they are doing, because you learned few attributes today. After few days, some attributes may be removed, some newly added. You need to explore by yourself. I will show how we can do that. Let's see. So first important is what is the purpose of this is actually how we can set up. That means material library, Angular material library provides two things actually, CDK, and it provides components. What is a component? No need to explain. Huh? Component is a template with design, logic, and styles. With design, logic, and styles. And CDK is component development kit. Development kit, component development kit, which provides performance and behavior for components. It provides performance and behavior for components. So we can use components and we can make the components more effective. We can make the components more effective by using CDK. We will see both of them, how to use it. First, in order to use materials, you have to install Angular material. So actually version wise, different techniques are present. I will show you. Compulsory, you should visit this website. Remember, why? Because this is the official website link I will give. Why? Because it will be changing every regular intervals of versions. So, and here remember hundreds of components are present, and every component have hundreds of features. So it's not like somebody teaches and you will learn. You have to do all the research by yourself according to your project requirements. So it is waste of time about learning all components in Angular, because your projects may not need all of them. Then what is necessary for your project? Depending on that, you search for the component and you learn about that component and implement. That is the thing you have to do. So nobody teaches anywhere, even in YouTube also, you will not find videos about anybody teaching you all components in Angular. They will tell you one, two components, and they will say that this is how you have to do others. And you have to explore others by yourself, right? So how it works, let's see. First, how to set up. You see, let's get started here. There is an environment setup. You have to just use this command ng add angular material. This is the process. Remember, version wise, this command also may be changing. In older versions, the command is not like this. Command is different. We have to use npm install. Now from Angular 11 and 12, they changed this. So keep in touch of this command also. Blindly don't run that command. So you have to go to their documentation and check whether the command is same or they made any changes in the command or not. Okay. So first step is, so you have set up Angular material for project. How to set up Angular material for project? First thing is in your project, first thing you have to open terminal in your project workspace. Project workspace, you have to open terminal in your project workspace. Then run the following command. Following command. What is the command? ng add @angular / material. And here very important is this actually installs latest version. This is where you will face problem. If your company is using Angular 13, 12, 14, then you cannot use this material. You have to use older version of material. How to install older version? You can visit this website. You can visit the website. You see right side version numbers are there. Here you check, you select here, the version numbers are there. Currently, this is latest. Currently 15.1 is latest. Other versions we have 14, 13, 12, 11. Depending on which version of Angular you are having, you have to select the suitable version of material. Just what you have to do is, so generally, if you are installing any specific version, here you need to define the command in this way. So we have to add ng add @angular / material @v14. Like this you have to write. What it will do, it will install 14 version. Understood? If you want 12, you put v12, v13, like that. So depending on which Angular version you are having, you have to install that. So if you want any older version of Angular material, make sure that you are mentioning the version number. If you are not mentioning the version number, it will not handle. That means it will install the latest one. And immediately you will get an error in your project. It will say that your Angular version, material version not matching. Compatibility issue will come, right? So this is actually a command, but here so many questions will come. Let's see. When you start this now, I will open the workspace, and here we are adding the command. The command is we are using ng. So ng add at the net angular slash material. So I hit enter. Now it will alert you here. Some questions will come here. So in the questions, it will ask you some libraries extra to add. Remember, Angular material have a lot of animations, CSS animations. Generally, if you know CSS, you know CSS transitions, transforms are present. These materials use a lot of animations. And for that, you need a separate library called browser animations. So if you installed material and you haven't installed browser animations, components, some components will work, some components will not. So some components will work and some components will not work. Why? Because they will say that I need a component animation library and you don't have that library. So you have to make sure that you see it is asking a question. You see if it verified that the compatible package version is same. Compatibility is okay, no problem. And it will be installed. Angular Material 15 will be installed. So, okay. So we are installing yes and enter. It is installing that. And after installing, it will give you it have lot of libraries, hundreds of components will be there, like bootstrap, buttons, text box, checkbox, radios, list box, grids, hundreds of features will be there. For every purpose, they will provide different features. That's the reason library is very huge for this. So if you are adding this library into your project, then it will be very heavy on application. So, but it doesn't matter in real world requirements, because generally these all libraries are kept on a server. From there we access and use. Here, see, after doing first, it is asking a question. Choose a pre-built theme. They are giving ready-made themes here. Theme is nothing but they are giving a CSS file. That CSS file contains fonts, colors, and effects. You know, mobile themes will be there. You change a theme according to that font, color, borders, appearance will be changing. So it is asking, we already have ready-made themes. You want which theme, you can select. So we will choose any one theme. So what is the first question here? They asked about the theme. That means choose a pre-built theme name or a custom theme name. Suppose here I choose the name some indigo pink. Indigo pink. That is the theme name I selected there. You can choose different themes are there. That is the first question it asks here. So choose a pre-built theme and you select one theme and apply. I selected the theme here as indigo pink. Okay. Now it is asking another question. So this is one question. It is asking another question. Another question is, do you want to set up Angular material typography styles? Typography, anything is fine. Actually, this is nothing but fonts. It says that we have some special fonts for components. Do you want to use them? If you don't use them, it will work. It will use default fonts, but their fonts will give good appearance. That means the feel of that application will be with the help of fonts. That is the reason it is saying, do you want to set up global styles? Yes, you select yes. So we need to set up the global styles and we will set yes. I am selecting yes. Okay. Next question, it is asking, do you want to include Angular animations module? So this is another point, include animation module. So you here we have to select include and enable. Include and enable animations, you have to choose that point. Why they given it as a choice? Because sometimes what people do, they use Angular material, but they don't want to use animations because animations make slow. In their website, they don't want to use animations, they want to use other effects. In that case, what they do, they will say that I don't want this animation library, but I want material. So that means without animations also, the material can look decent, but with animations, it look very attractive, right? So that is the reason it's your wish. You want animations or not. But later, if you want, you can add. Currently, you selected that I don't want animations. Later, if you want, you can add. It is nothing but module. Na? It is nothing but module. How to add a module? You have to go to app module.ts. There you have to manually import and inject. So even you are not adding now, later if you want, you can add. That doesn't matter. So I am selecting here. It is saying include and enable. Include but disable animations. That means it is saying that you add this library, but don't use the animations. Later, if I want, I can add. And or don't include at all. Don't include means problem. Don't include means later if you want, you have to again install. If you say include but disable, what does this means? It will install, but it will not use. Right? That depends how you want. So include and enable, I will select that. Now it is setting up complete Angular material. Now once Angular material is installed, in some interviews for freshers, they ask this also as a question. Like they ask like, after setting up material, what changes will happen in my project? This question they will ask regularly. Why? Because by adding a new library into any project, it may affect certain existing project related features. A developer should know it correctly. Without knowing what effect it will have on my project, you install and later that is affected your application, then it is problem. That means before using any external library, first you should know where it is going to affect. So what are the changes it is going to make? Are those changes required for you? Any change is not required, then you can disable. How you can disable? If you know where it made the change, right? That is the reason in interviews they ask like, after installing material, what changes will be there in your project? Why they ask this question? Because in some projects, some changes we don't want, some changes we want. Then which change you don't want, that you have to disable. How to disable? For that, first you should know where change happened, right? That means what are the changes after you install? What changes? You can see here, it will show these things. Already while installing it showed where changes occurred. Package JSON. Package JSON. That is a common thing because after installing any library, package JSON will be updated. But see here, these are changes updated. What are updated? App module is updated. App module is updated. Angular JSON is updated. Index HTML is updated. Style CSS is updated. Now the confusion here is why so many updated? What happened there? What might happen in app module? Can you tell? What might have happened in app module? It imports material library and it imports browser animations. I told you browser animations na. So those two libraries will be imported. What may happen in Angular JSON? What may happen in Angular JSON file? We selected a pre-built theme na. We selected a pre-built theme. Which theme? Indigo pink theme. That theme will give a CSS file that is attached here. Which CSS file to use? That is attached in Angular JSON. And what changes may happen in index HTML? In index HTML, what will happen? In index HTML, what happens is Angular material may be using some fonts. It may be using some other libraries which have to come from other third party. Those links it may set. The links for the external fonts, you written you selected typography na, that means it will use those in that index. What might happen in styles? Styles means global styles na? That means all body section appearance how it should be global styles. Some styles are added here. Some styles are added here. Let's see. That means now the question here, once you do this, now another important questions. So what are the changes? What are the changes? What are the changes identified? What are the changes identified in a project? What are the changes identified in a project installing after installing Angular material? So the answer for this is first one is number one. The first one is modules animation module is imported. Animation module is imported into app.module.ts. Next what? Angular JSON. Angular.json is configured with the CSS theme. It is configured with CSS theme. That is what happens in Angular JSON. Next what? Index.html. So links typography files to page. And usually that happens in the head section. So another one, styles.css is included with global styles. Global styles. Global styles like font styles, like colors, some margins and alignments, such things may happen. And usually these are all the changes that happen. These are all the changes that are updated. So let's check them once what changes happened correctly, right? Let's see. We will go to app.module.ts file and check once. Let's see. Let's go to the app module file. So we are having this app module. Yeah, in app module you see browser animations module is added. Form module is already added by us for using ng model, and you see browser animation module is added here extra. Okay, next let's check what happened in Angular JSON. In Angular JSON file, where is it? Angular JSON file. In this Angular JSON file, you will find the theme is set here. You see, in styles, it sets indigo pink. The CSS file is updated there. So that means if anybody asks like, I want to change my theme, then how? Then you should know where to go and change. Na? That means we have to go to angular.json. There you need to update. So if you know what changes happened later, if you want, you can update. That means here you can change the theme name. All theme files are there, but currently it is using this. If you want, you can change later. Let's see what happened in index. In index.html, you see some fonts are newly added, and it is adding matte typography class. Matte is nothing but material. It is material typography, that is nothing but related to fonts, and it is using Google fonts called Roboto, and it is using some material icons. It is using some material icons. These changes happened in index. Okay. Let's see what happened in styles.css. In styles.css, you can see some global styles are kept, like HTML body height 100%, body margin, font family. It updated some changes into this. These are all the options. Actually, this is nothing but technically this is uh, if anybody asked you why you have three fonts, I hope you learned in HTML. When you learned HTML, CSS, I hope you learned that you can apply font. There is a font in HTML. Font have face. We can use some font names like Arial, Times New Roman, something. In many interviews, they ask what are web safe fonts. Web safe fonts means you applied one font, but that is not present in his computer. Then how he will see? You applied a font because that is present in your computer. And it is not necessary that the same font must be in everybody's computer, because we can add fonts, we can delete fonts. Now the question asked in interviews is, if you applied any font and that font is not available in his computer, then which font it will take? For that, you should know that in web development, there are default fonts. Those default fonts are called web safe fonts. And what are web safe fonts? We have sans serif, we have serif, and monospace. These are called web safe fonts. Sans serif, serif, and monospace. In every computer in the world, in every electronic device in the world, you will have these fonts. You will have these fonts. Even you are watching on a mobile or a smart watch also, these fonts will be there. You see smart phones, you see smart watches, in their font is serif, monospace, sans serif, the font name. That means these are called web safe fonts. That means why it is giving three? Because its main font is what? Roboto. If Roboto font is not working in your computer, then it will go with second. Why it selects second? Because that second font is similar to Roboto. If this is also not working in your computer, then it will go to sans serif. And if you ask if this is also not working, there is no chance. Why? Because every computer will have a default font and that cannot be removed also. You can't delete it. So there is no chance that there is a computer without sans serif. There is no chance that there is a computer without serif, sans serif, and monospace. Compulsory. You delete all fonts, but one font will be there, right? That will be sans serif. That is why it is used as a standard font. Why you give these three things, right? These kind of questions will confuse freshers. They can't answer these type of questions if they haven't learned detail, because these kind of questions are asked in some interviews. Because in small scale companies interviews, the interviewer will try to show his talent to you. Understood? Huh? He will not test your talent. He will try to show up his talent to you. You don't know this, you don't know that, I know all this. That is his attitude. Such attitude people you will face in interviews regularly. Because once you are answering everything perfectly and you are answering better than he knows, then his ego will hurt. Because you are answering and you are giving better answers than he knows about it, then his ego will hurt. Then he will go with nonsense questions now. right? Such people you will face regularly in interviews. In that case, these kind of questions you need to get prepared, because in regular MNC level interviews, they don't waste time. They will simply ask exactly what they need from you. In other companies, small scale and all these companies, they want to show up. That means they will tell that you don't know this, you haven't learned this, you have to learn this, this is very important, you don't know this and came here for interview, who told you this, who taught you Java, who taught you .NET, all such nonsense they will do, because they have to show up themselves. So these people are very common in companies, right? Of course, he might learn that technology from us only, right? But when he becomes interviewer, he thinks he developed everything, right? So in that case, these kind of questions will come. That's the reason you should know all the parts. That means you should know why it is like that. Sometimes this becomes very important in interviews. Okay, so why it given three names in same font family? That's a reasonable point also. Why? Because first one is recommended one. If it is not there, second one is relative one. If this is also not there, third one is default. First one is recommended, second one is relative, third one is default. That's how it works, right? If this is not working, second one, this is not working, third. That is the final thing, right? So that is the concept of changes. These are the changes happen. Okay, now we will see how to implement material. Now we will see example, means how to use this material components. So how to work with them? I will teach you how to explore by yourself. So because they will be regularly changing, some new features will be adding, you have to keep in touch by yourself. You have to learn by yourself only. So let's see the difference actually. Suppose see here, I will add one component here. Let's add a new component in the components. So ng generate component material demo test. Okay, I am adding a component material demo, and let's add here yeah, let's run this also. Ng so project is equal to shopping. Okay, now let's keep this material demo in the startup. So I will add in the app module material demo. Okay, material demo. Now in index.html, we will change material demo. Okay, this is material demo. Fine. Now let's go to material demo component. Here we will create one sample design first. I'm adding div class container fluid. Here I will show you the difference to make you understand. See, all these days we learned how to design bootstrap. So bootstrap input, see how it looks like, how people actually design. We will have a div, means in bootstrap how we create a container. Actually in this div we will put a label. Actually this label contains some user name. Under that there will be another div. Here we will have a text box for that username. Input type is equal to text. Actually for this label we apply a class called So form label, that is the class. For this text box, we apply a class called form control. And after this, here I will put here a class some W25. Some width is adjusted for this. Now, this is the basic appearance of a category. That means one category we design in a div. In that category, there will be a label. Under that label, a div with the element. This is general tradition of designing form. Form elements are designed like this anywhere. So it is a basic design. And you see now how it looks like. Let's open localhost. Now it is going to display the bootstrap input here. And this is the bootstrap input. In the bootstrap input, we have a label and we have a text box like this. And you see, suppose I'm giving some placeholder. I'm writing placeholder, enter name. That is the placeholder we are giving here, and it will display that placeholder called enter name. That's how it looks. I'm entering some name, that placeholder will go, right? This is the basic design of an input element inside Bootstrap. But how the same appears in material of Angular? Let's see. That means now similar thing we will design in Angular material input. How material input looks like, we will see that. Actually, material input, usually first thing material input, how it puts everything in a box. Actually, for that material input uses a element called, actually it uses a container, it uses a form field. It uses a form field. So field, it uses a form field. Form field is nothing but form field is equal to this container. Understood? This container is referred as what? Form field. Right? How you designed it by using ordinary divs. But here there is a separate form field. Inside the form field, so we have ordinary label. That means now observe carefully, we have to search for this form field. We have to know what settings it is having. Let's check. Go to the website. In the website of Angular, go to components. You see here lot of components are present. These are all like Bootstrap components only. Left side, you can see a panel with a lot of components. So many are present. These are all components only. Different components are present. Now what happens is you want a form field. Which component we need? Form field. Let's see here. There is a form field component. You select the form field component. When you select form field component, here it will show you overview, and it will show you examples. Examples, you click, you see the examples. Form field looks like this. These are form fields. These are form fields. And observe carefully, here there are so many form fields, designs. Now you can use these type of form fields. You can use these type of form fields. There are a lot of designs. Which type of design you want, you select it. Suppose I want this type of design. This is the design. Then or this is the design. If you want to know detail about any component, so in examples, first you can see how it looks like. If you want to learn about it, means what library is required, what properties it will have, To know that, you have to go to API. This is important. For a developer, first point, check the examples and see how it looks like. Is this what your project required? That means your project is showing some design. Is this design same matching or not? Is that the requirement or not? If it is the requirement, then go to API. In API, it will show you which module is required. What is the module required for this? Mat form field module. You know how to handle a module. So what you will do, first step, you go to which location? App module. First here we have to import. So import. What we have to import? So mat form field mat module. First we will put the library here. From where? We have to import from Angular slash material slash we have form field. Right here we have to import a module. So mat form field module you have to import. After importing the module, now here we need to inject the module now. In imports, you have to set what the mat form field module. You have to set this. Now, all remember, only form field is ready now. Form field is ready, but observe here, when you go to API, you can see here, right side, there are some directives. That means these are all the dependencies of that. These are all the dependencies. That means if you import this form field, all these are available. These are all available. What are available? Mat label, mat error, mat hint, mat prefix, mat suffix. These all are available. Do I need to import these libraries also? Not required, because form field dependency is that. That means now you can use mat labels and everything. Let's try here now. You see it shows that option here. Observe carefully. It says that mat label. It is used for designing a label for form field. To design a label for form field, we need mat label. What is it? Selector? Mat label. What is the form field selector? You have to know that. That means you go here now. Here we have to add mat form field first. Understood? In that mat form field, we have to use a mat label. So mat label. And in the label, we will define user name. After that, we will keep a text box. Input type is equal to text. This is a text box. And observe carefully here in the design now. In the design, you can see material input is there. This is a mat input. But here you see currently label, nothing is there. And just text box is there. Because you need to know other options, how to handle them actually. That means this mat form field, and this is mat label, and this is input. This is text box. For input in our Bootstrap, what we have? Form control. Form control. In material here, you can see there is input. No? And input is coming from, observe here. This is input. Input is having, you can see this is input. Actually, input is defined by using, so many options. What are the options? Actually, it is defined. You can see the API. It is coming from mat input. It is coming from mat input module. We have to import this also. That means you want to give a good appearance for input. You need one more. Let's go in app module. We have to import. One more module we have to import. What is it? Mat input module. And here we need to configure that module also. What is the module? Mat input module. We need to define mat input module. Okay. Now I need to apply that to this. So for text box, if you want to apply that, then here we have to use as mat input. We have to configure mat input. Here we are having some placeholder. Placeholder is nothing but enter name. I'm just giving that placeholder. Now you can see in the design, the material input and the material here we are having, it looks like this now. You can see now this is different input and this is label, and this is when I click inside, it will go like this and a placeholder will come. Now you can see its appearance is different. That means this is our ordinary and this is material. That means initially there is no placeholder. When I click inside, the placeholder will display here and label will float up. Remember, this floating is animation. If you disabled browser animations, this animation will not work. That means you will have a fixed label, you will have a fixed placeholder. Now these animations are working because of that. Remember, form field have lot of appearances. Let's go to form field now. Here in the form field, you have used a label and you have used an text box. For text box, what is the property we have to set? Mat input, and automatically transforms. It will use this label. It will use the label. And important, this form field have lot of attributes. Let's check. Go to form field. You can see form field API. In the form field API, you can see the properties here. Form field have properties. You see property, what it is having. First property is appearance. See, it is marked as input. What does that means? You learned it already, na? That means it is a child component which is accepting property. In our parent component, we are using a child component. What is the child component? Mat form field. This child component is having a property. What is that property? Appearance. It will take the value from us and it will use it. That means now you know that this is actually child component. Na? This is a child component and it is having a property. What is the property? It is having appearance. Appearance. What appearance you can give? You should know the values for that. That means you have to go here and see what is the property it is having. Appearance. Now this appearance related details we want. Appearance related details you want. That means the form field appearance. So you see here, you see classes, mat form field control. Actually, this mat form field control, it is having these all properties list. You scroll down, you will see lot of properties. In these properties, appearance means what type of appearance? It will show you the values also below. It is showing values now. You have to scroll down and see the appearance. Appearance, it is having fill or outline. Two appearances it is having. So what appearance we can give? We can keep as a fill or a outline. I'm giving an appearance outline. So, and you see that when I give appearance outline, so then it looks like this now. Now here I click now, it will display like this. It is a different appearance style. That is an outlined style. That is an outline style. It is using an outline style here. Previous appearance will be what? The previous appearance is what? The appearance is a fill. So there is another appearance called fill. that fill appearance will look like this now. The fill appearance is like this now. We can put what type of appearance we want. Remember, only design is different. Its functionality is same. That means I want to access value from text box and display the value. That will not change. That is same as you done. MVC, MVVM, anything you can use. Suppose how to collect value from this text box and display. Suppose I have a heading, I want to print that value. Then same thing, no change. What you have to do? ng model. So you have to define hash username is equal to ng model. And here we need to define what. So username dot what value. You need to get that. And when user is typing anything here, that means when user is typing anything here, I will click here and type. It's working same, no change. It is not a special text box. It is just a text box. It changed its appearance. Functionality will never affect. Every functionality will be same. That means only the point, the way that you see is changed. That's what I told you in the beginning, if you remembered, when we designed Netflix like design, I told you that we also designed Netflix like screen, but the feel of that Netflix is not same. Our button looks different. Netflix button looks different. Am I right? Why? Because our button is a bootstrap button and Netflix button is a material button. Actually, Netflix is not using Angular material. Netflix is using MUI. MUI. Actually, Netflix is designed with React.js. And React.js uses a library called MUI. MUI. This is what React.js uses. This is same material for React.js. And Netflix, Amazon, these are designed in React.js. And you observe here, scroll up, see Netflix, Amazon, Spotify, NASA, all these people are designed in React. They use this MUI. In MUI, button appearance is little different. In our material, its appearance is little different, but functionality will be same. So the appearance depends on the library that you are using. Material components advantage is they provide ready-made components to you. Just you have to implement those components and use them. So here a lot of things you have done just to handle a text box. What are the first point? First, you have to go to app.module.ts and import the modules. Two modules we have imported. Mat form field module, another one mat input module. This example I will give it to you, okay? And here in imports, you have defined two things now. In imports, additionally, you have to add these two. One is mat form field, another one is mat input. I'm just adding what is newly required, okay? Now, next step, what you have to just add a new component. So component and the new component ng generate component material demo. And here we will put material demo dot component dot HTML. There is nothing to do in TS because everything we are directly configuring and designing in the HTML. In HTML, you have to do this. This is the code I will give you. Here I am giving both code, both appearance here. I am giving both appearance here. Now, I will give you one task you try. Now you saw form field and input. Now one task for you is you try to design. So the task is you try to design calendar, date picker. So here you see here in their website, they have a date picker. You see there is a date picker. A date picker usually looks like this. You click here. This is form field, and here there is an icon. It will show the calendar. You can select the date and the date will be displayed here. You try to design this. You can see the source code. You click on view code. It will show you the code behind it. Right? So you try seeing this and try to design. And what you have to do for that, you have to first import all required modules now. And after that, you need to implement this. You try this. But you see here, I also showed you the source code now. You can see the source code here, right? Even you copy and paste this code, it will show error. That is why I asked you to try by yourself. Understood? You may think like code is already there, copy paste, right? So the first qualification for a software developer is he must be very good in copy pasting. Understood? So, but copy pasting is not easy. When you copy and paste, certain dependencies you have to configure. If you miss them, it will not work. That problem you will face, I will see how you will solve. That means you will solve, you will find a problem here. It will say that some dependency is missing. And I want you to know how to track the dependency and solve. I will show this in the class tomorrow. Okay. But you try to do it by yourself. Right? That means here help is there. But in that help also some loopholes are there. That means some problems are not clearly explained that you have to explore by yourself. You try that. So tomorrow I will show you 2 more components. Then others you can practice by yourself. Okay. Then we will go into pipes and services like concept. How to interact with APIs and all services we will see. So tomorrow we'll continue, right? Yeah.